chairperson of the Parliamentary Committee on Justice, Legal and Parliamentary Affairs, Honorable Edson Nazi, that he was with me. He's also the member of the National Assembly representing Masungo Central. Yeah. I acknowledge you, Honorable Chairperson, my fellow President, Mr. Mongani, the sitting President, who is also Campus Radio President and the immediate past Chairperson of the United Africa. It's a huge honor to have a person of the caliber of Honorable who would come to us to speak to us about the contentious issue of the Constitutional Amendment Bill number 3. I think we all agree that the issue of Cape 3 is the dominant topic in the country right now. Cape 3 is arguably divided opinion. It is walking the limelight in the legal sphere, in the social sphere. The people discussing the legal implications, the political implications, the social connotations, and even the economic implications. So this is really a momentous occasion, once in a life, once in a lifetime opportunity for the media to have a person from the parliamentary standpoint who is steering the whole process. Because I think you agree with me that there is a nexus between the work of the media and key organs of the state, like Parliament, especially in the context of the ongoing public consultations on the Constitutional Amendment Bill number 3. We all know that the public hearings have been completed, and now for the next 90 days from the completion of from the start of the process, submissions could not be made to Parliament. We have Honorable Zimbabwe here. This process will give us an opportunity to ask him questions, to probe him on the developments in terms of progress that has been covered in gathering views, what the next stage entails. And of course, I know that the media, as the voice of the people, with a lot of pertinent questions that people are asking around in open spaces, academic spaces, other public spaces, even intellectual spaces. I've just learned that there are people from the Zimbabwe University Law School. So it's really a once-in-a-life opportunity that we've been accorded thanks to the Media Alliance of Zimbabwe, working together with its partners. So we look forward to a fruitful engagement between members of the Masungo media and our chairperson of the Parliamentary Committee on Justice, Legal and Parliamentary Affairs, as he unpacks this landmark event or process in the history of our country. Because I think from a historical perspective, you are coming from the passage of the 2018 new constitution that was agreed upon at the end of the tenure of the global political agreement that gave rise to the inclusive government. So from 1980 to 1990, when we had the Lancaster House Conference, to right up to the 2018 constitution, we hope that Honorable Zobu will take us through the memory lane and help us to define from a legal standpoint whether our country is becoming a mature and constitutional democracy or not. His views, how he foresees the unfolding of the Cape 3 and its implications on the democratic dispensation in our country. Zimbabwe maturing into a democracy, is the coming on board of Cape 3, entrenching the pillars of democracy that found or that supports other democratic societies the world over. So indeed, we are very privileged, and we hope. I was actually joking with him that the name Zobo is now synonymous with contentious issues with the constitution. Because I think you agree with me that before his father, the late legal supremo, may he so rest in peace, Zobo Senior, was accused, maybe fail or unfail, of having introduced the executive president that entrenched the previous president. Now, I don't know if this is a coincidence or not, the son again is at the center of steering Cape 3. So I don't know whether history will judge him fairly or actually, I don't know, people, but we are indeed honored to have him. And as the media, the onus is on us to probe him on behalf of the people whose voices we carry and whose conscience we always portray wherever we are. Take him to task, ask him difficult questions so that he tells us really the import of this Cape 3, so that our nation can spread the gospel to our nation, so that our nation can fully comprehend the intricacies of this Cape 3, where we are going as a nation. Like I said, whether we are maturing as a democracy or we are regressing. So, Mr. Zobo, we are indeed honored to have you. This team that we have here has got a reputation of reporting factually, accurately, and objectively. So don't worry, if you're at home, nobody's going to misquote you. They will report just as he is saying. So thank you very much. I don't want to steal the thunder from the honorable. Thank you, Mr.
Yeah, thank you, President. That was a presidential welcome remarks. I really appreciate your input. You said we report accurately, fairly, and objectively. I think you really did well to highlight that, because maybe we may have some who would want to miss. So Kalamash Tower, so I'm sure everyone will do your final outage. So thank you, President. Maybe before I give you the floor, I would want to just to tell you that we now have ZDC in the house. So the floor is yours, Honorable.
Thank you. Good evening to everybody. I'm very, very honored to be here, and I want to thank you for this wonderful invitation. The topic under discussion is very, very important, and I'm sure that you guys, the press, hereby here assembled, will report accurately what I have to present to you, just as my committee, the Justice Legal Parliamentary Committee, will report accurately what the people have said to them during our consultations. So I'm very relaxed, and I'm very pleased to be here. I want to thank the President and the two Presidents here for their invitation, and I want to thank you all for attending. Please feel free to ask me any questions as we go along. This is a friendly session. I'm a member of Parliament from here in Mashingo. I'm also a Zimbabwean. Just one correction to what the President has just said. I am not Edison Jonas Mudanirwa Jogo. That is the one we blame for the previous constitution. If any blame is to be afforded, I'm Edison Muniwa. But you know, that is just by the by. Look, the constitution amendment process, in my view, has been successful so far. What is left is for, after the public consultations, is now for us to compile the responses. The deadline has not yet been completed for the submission of consultations. And once that is done, we must present our report to Parliament by the second reading. The 90 days, the second reading will be up within the 90 days, and then at the second reading, we will present, before the second reading, we'll present our report to Parliament. The reason for that is that it provides parliamentarians from both parties, from all sides, the information required for them to debate the issues raised by the Zimbabwean people. I think people have to understand what the consultation process is really all about. A lot of people confuse the consultation process with a referendum. Yeah? People are calling for a referendum. Clearly, or some people, but clearly the two processes are two totally different processes. And this is a consultative process, and it's not a referendum. People have made various comments. Number one, that they did not get enough time to speak at the consultative meetings. There have been various complaints here and there about that, but that is a misunderstanding of the process of consultations. Again, we hear, we have seen various individuals and parties and people bringing lots of papers to submit to the committee, based on the idea that the more papers you have, as if it was an election, yeah. So you see somebody bringing 5,000 papers, but all these papers will have the same suggestion or the same idea. The idea of consultations is not an election; it's not a referendum. So the more papers you have does not affect in any way the consultative process. What we are looking for in the consultative process are the concerns, the different concerns of the Zimbabwean people on each and every clause. This will arm parliamentarians in their debate when we debate the matter in Parliament. Okay? So if you bring 10,000 of the same issues couched in the same way, it does not advance the issue in any way, because it's not an election and it's not an referendum. Okay? The point of consultation is to arm Parliament with the concerns of the Zimbabwean people when they debate the issue. Okay? I was contacted by a member of the press who was also very concerned that no. There's complaints about people not having enough time to speak. And a kind of guiding democracy that the wrong people spoke or the people were selected to speak. That should not be an issue. My answer to them was that, again, they're confusing the consultations, the public consultations, with a referendum. Why am I saying this? Is because you must remember that the window for written submissions continues. Okay? The window for written submissions continues, and I'll try to give you the address, the email address of the Clerk of Parliament. Submissions can still be submitted, and to remind you that a written submission is as equally important as a physical submission which was made during consultation. There seemed to be an idea that if I didn't get the microphone at the public consultations, I've somehow been at disadvantage. No, they weigh the same. Nobody has been disadvantaged. And also, I also replied to the reporter contacting me that it's not possible when you have 2,000 or 3,000 people in the venue for everybody to have a chance to speak. It's simply not possible. I remember at Zimbabwe, there was a scramble for the microphone. Yeah? There was a scramble for the microphone, And of course there were security concerns and so on. But, you know, what we're trying to do is to get a sample to meet the people so that but there was no way that out of a group of 2,000 people, every individual will have a chance to speak. But the reminder again is to say written submissions are equally valid to those done while holding a microphone. There is no difference between them. So those aggrieved individuals, or those who feel aggrieved, should feel free to then write their written submissions. I know, for instance, that while we are engaged in a constitutional process, that this constitutional process has political implications. We are aware. But while we are aware of that, we must also be able to distinguish between the two. A lot of people, because they don't like or don't agree with the political implications, will then attack the process itself. But I think those two things must be distinguished. Yeah? You must be able to say, has the process itself been in terms of the Constitution of Zimbabwe? And I am here to tell you, as the chairman, that we have tried our best in every way to follow the constitutional process as required by the Constitution of Zimbabwe. Okay. The complaints that we will receive are based on people who don't agree with the political implications of the process. Yeah? You'll see that most people who don't like the political results will criticize the process. Okay? As the chairman, my job is process. I'm a process-driven person. Am I following, and is my committee following the requirements of the Constitution? I submit to you that we are, that we have done, and that we will continue to do so. What was the process requirements? The process requirements are that we consult the public within the 90-day period after the Speaker has made the announcement, after the gazetting of the bill, and after the Speaker has made the announcement in Parliament. We have 90 days to consult, compile a report, and submit to that report to Parliament. That is the process. Yeah. I also understand that there are various issues that have been raised. One, that the 4-day period was too short. But people have to understand that, as I've just said, the process is still continuing. It's not actually a 4-day period. The 4-day period was for public, for the MPs traveling to meet and talk to the people. But it's not the only process. There's the issue of written submissions, which is continuous. And we'll also engage with the public on radio, on TV, and as I'm doing now. So if you only want to look at the 4-day period and say, oh, it's too short, you're only looking at a part of the process, right? And if you acknowledge that written submissions are as valid as somebody making submissions holding a microphone, then you'll see that the process is actually 90 days long, because you have all this time to present your written submissions. The second issue is to say, why was it not longer? People are forgetting that the committee which I lead, which is the Committee of Justice, has 20 members. We suborned, or we adapted or co-opted 120 members of Parliament from different committees to assist us, so that we could do it in the 40-day period with an eye to taxpayers' funds. Yeah, with an eye to taxpayers' funds. These committee meetings are extremely expensive. The outgoing, the outreach to the public is extremely expensive. And the idea was to get a number of groups. We had 11 teams all over the country. And the idea was, ideally, of course, you want to do as many meetings as possible. But what we did, which was not done in Constitution Amendment number 1, and not done in Constitution Amendment number 2, was a dramatic increase in the meetings that we held. In Constitution Amendment number 1 and Constitution Amendment number 2, we had maybe 2 meetings per province. We had 2 meetings per province. There was not that much excitement about those 2 constitutional amendments, and there was hardly any complaint. Because of our recognition of the significance and the excitement in the national body about this particular, we raised them to 64 meetings, right? And this is the most amount of consultations that have been done since COPAC. Because if you just say it's only 64, it's never been done before. It's a huge increase from what has previously been done. Okay? We cannot afford to do another COPAC. COPAC was when we were creating the whole constitution. And I agree with you that there was extensive consultation, almost village by village. But it's not something that we can repeat over and over and over again. This was a dramatic increase in the consultative process. 64 meetings across the country. And it has never been done either for consultation, for Constitution Amendment number 1, or for Constitution Amendment number 2. But it was done this way in order to satisfy the desires of the Zimbabwe people. Okay? So the budget was bigger, the expenditure was larger. We had more meetings than we have ever held before. Okay? And it can always be criticized. But then if you take it to a certain level, then you're simply doing a referendum. You know? If you take it to a certain level, it's going village by village. The idea of the